Hey guys, what's up? This is Ivo Remo McLean for life, and I am back for more videos. And I'm gonna keep continue the horror franchise and the horror films in my videos. And of course, I'm gonna review and continue reviewing a Nightmare on Street franchise because I love the franchise, but I actually love this film. And today I'm gonna talk about and review is a Nightmare on Street 2. Freddy's Revenge 1985 was released November 1st in the United States, and this movie, the budget cost them $3 million, and this movie made more money than the first one. It cost $29 million. Actually, it surpassed the budget, and it cost and it actually and the worldwide, this movie made worldwide $29 million. It surpassed the first one. It even surpassed this film, and of course the sequel. Now, Nightmare on Street Part 2 got a lot of fan base. I know this movie is actually a step back from the first movie, and I'm not one of the fans of this film. I do have all of them right here, so I'm just showing you the title. So today I'm gonna review this movie, but I can show you which is better, which is actually the DVD of this film. So yeah, I don't know. Now, A Nightmare on Street 2 95, I'm not really a biggest fan of the film. I am fan of this film because I have a poster. I love this film to death. The second one, I really not a fan because I think there's a lot of problems with this film. This movie is referenced to be a gay. I had no idea it was gay. I didn't care about it if it's gay because the male lead was gay, but I don't care. I don't give a fuck if he's alien from Mars. I don't give a fuck about it. I saw the original and part 2 together back in 1999, and I had no idea. It was in elementary school when I saw those two movies, and I had no idea that this is actually gay film. I didn't mind it at all. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this film. I like parts of the film, but I'm not a fan of the film. I'm just not a fan of this film. I'm a huge fan of the first film. Love this film. I have a poster of the first film. I don't have a poster of this film, but I do like the poster of this film. Yeah, I like the poster of this film. I really like the poster. I do like the poster in which there's Jesse with the gloves, with that glove, with the knives, and he's holding Lisa. In the reflection in the mirror, he part of the skull. He looks like there's a crow down there, and there's like in the bathroom. I like that. The poster art for part 2, much better than we got the DVDs or even the Blu-rays. I like that poster much better. But like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of part 2. I thought it was a big step down from the film, from the first film. I thought it was a boring film. I thought it was slow paced. It had no action. It wasn't scary. I thought it sucked. It wasn't scary in my opinion. By the way, no, this is not a rant. It's actually movie review. I like parts of the film, but I'm not a fan of it. I can call it time waster. There was actually a lot of people that recognize this film. That it's a cult classic, but it's even had a fan base, and some even say it's better than the first one. Someone even ranked this movie above first one. I will never rank this movie above first one because I love the first one to death. I did a long review. I think it was an hour-long review for the first movie because it was 3 weeks then when I uploaded the first movie. So I could not review this film, for a while. But yeah, I said, I did rewatch part 2. And I saw part 4. I rewatched the first and the second. Part 4 I rewatched just recently. We'll be rewatching part 3, Dream Warriors, soon. But yeah, I watched this movie many times, and I always thought it was boring. Yeah, just I didn't mind the gay stuff. That Mark Patton, the male, he's actually gay. I didn't mind it, but I did not thought that this movie was bad, because this is not a rent. It's not a bad movie. It's more. It's just like Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. I thought it was more a campy film. I thought it was more a campy film. I thought it was more a cheesy campy film. I didn't thought it was that good as the first one, because it breaks a lot of rules, and a lot of fans have stated many times in their videos and reviews, and I agree that they break the rules. And also this time, it wasn't written and directed by Wes Craven. Rest in peace. This time was written by David Chaskin and directed by Jack Shoulder. Later he directed The Hidden, after he did Part 2, Nightmare Street. I didn't, the poster, I still like it. There's parts of the film that I like, which I'll get into it. But like I said, I do have all of them. So Part 2, is on this disc. So yeah. But I like, the Freddy Krueger, the claw. Wes Craven refused to do this movie because he didn't like it that Freddy Krueger goes and he manipulates, the main protagonist. He didn't like the idea. I don't like that idea either. New Line Cinema, Robert Shea refused to pay Robert Englund, so they actually, they did not want to pay him at all, and so they actually hired a stuntman to play Freddy Krueger, but over 2-3 weeks, they realized it was a terrible idea. So Robert Shea came back to Robert Englund, and he met with his demands. So Robert Englund returned as Freddy Krueger in this movie, but Mark Patton has the main role in this film. Now, the story, I like the idea that it set 5 years, of the events of the first movie. No one for the first movie returns for this film. It's 5 years later. And now in Old Thompson House, I don't know if they actually filmed in the same house than they did the first one. The Walshes have just bought the house, and they actually moved to Elm Street, the new house. And Jesse Walsh, he has actually a nightmare and a terrible dream and a nightmare about Freddy. And the open scene, we actually see a bus that's actually, the trivia says on IMDb, oh hey, that's Robert Englund. I was like, no shit, we all know it's Robert Englund, because I recognize him without makeup. And in the bus scene, I like those two girls in the bus scene when Jesse and those two girls are actually trapped in the bus with Freddy. They're actually in this rock, and Freddy tries to get them. And Jesse Walsh wakes up, screaming, and and he just makes new friends in the school. Lisa Weber, played by Kim Myers, that was actually actor's first debut. So yeah, she goes, and she's actually girlfriend of Jesse, and Jesse makes new friends, in the school. I had no idea that the film locations they actually filmed for the school was actually the same school that actually filmed the Karate Kid, the 1984, the original Karate Kid. They actually filmed there, so they used the location of the school, which they moved, to there. So that was kind of cool. I like that idea. So I didn't like the gay stuff. I think the Mark Patton hide that he was gay. I think they later find out that he actually was gay. There was a scene when Jesse gets on the in the football field. He actually during the exercise he actually gets in a fight with Grady. I think was played by Robert Rassler, and they both go in a fight. And I think Robert Rassler, Grady goes and pulls Jesse pants down. I think we can see his naked butt. I'm not sure, but they both go in a fight. And that time Coach Schneider goes and he both punishes them. Marshall Bell, he plays Coach Schneider. I wasn't really a fan, but there is a scene that I liked in the locker room when Grady and Jesse are talking about Schneider, and Jesse says, "I think it was right that Schneider put you in the game," And Grady says he has a stick up his ass, and Jesse says, Coach Schneider has a stick up his ass. I just love that scene, And Coach Schneider, Marshall Bell, he hears that, he goes to them and says, "Hello, dirtbags." I just like that scene. I like that scene a lot. And he goes and punishes them more. I like that scene. I thought that Marshall Bell, that plays Coach Schneider, did a good job, but there's a scenes that I dislike in the film. So Jesse, keeps having those nightmares, and he's having those nightmares, and he can't sleep. There's actually a scene because in this movie, like I said in the poster there's actually a crow. In the film, there is no crow. There was no crow in the film. In the film, there was two parrots, and they both explode in the house. And there's a song that I did like, "Touch Me All Night Long." I did like that song. I think there's on YouTube long version, but when Jesse's cleaning his room with his girlfriend Lisa, they found this diary by Nancy Thompson, from the first movie, because no one in the first movie did return, because this movie is set in 5 years later, and I did like to know that they actually do mention Nancy Thompson. We don't know what happened, what happened to Nancy in the first movie, because I think she was once again a dream, even though she defended Freddy Krueger, but she found herself in another nightmare. So yeah, so that's actually we find out, and of course Freddy Krueger shows up. I don't know how he shows up in the real world. And he manipulates Jesse, to get into his body. I still know how the fuck he do that. I think that's breaking the rules, and that really sucked, in my opinion. That was really campy and cheesy, in my opinion. So they do break up the rules, and I didn't like that scene when Fred Krueger shows up and says, "Hello, Jesse. You have the body, I have the brains." I just didn't like that quote that much from Freddy. Wes Craven landed this mechanical glow for this movie, the filmmakers. But part two, so what happened later was, I didn't like that idea when Jesse, he wakes up, he's like, goes to this bar. I think it was a gay bar. I'm not sure, but he goes to this bar, and Coach Schneider gets him. They go to the school. I don't know why they go to the school, and he keeps making those laps around the gym. And there's like the ghost shows up. I don't know how the fuck the ghost even did that. Goes the ghost, and he keeps dragging, Coach Schneider. First he throws the balls at him. I mean, this is like poltergeist once again. He keeps going and throws the balls at him, drags him, and uses the towels, and we have to see his naked ass. Why the fuck would I watch a naked ass? I like girls. I would rather watch girls' boobs, not this guy's ass. And I didn't like that idea. And then Jesse, manipulated by Freddy, goes and kills him with the claws. That I don't like that scene at all. I dislike that scene, in my opinion. Coach Schneider wears like SMS later. I mean, he was like already preparing to rape Jesse in the ass. I just didn't like that idea. Um, so Jesse's then found by cops. They bring him home, and his dad says, "What kind of drugs are you using?" And honestly, I have to agree with the dad. The actor that played Walsh, he's still alive. Who played Ken Walsh? I think was Clue Gulager. I like that. I like him. I like the actor. He's still alive. I read it. I like it because he was concerned about Jesse, his son, and that's the same thing that happened to me. My dad, when I was late at night, I was a lot of party. I was around driving with friends, with people, and I came late at home. My dad was concerned about me. He asked me, "What kind of drugs are you using?" And I said, "I'm not using any drugs." And the same was that happens this film. So any parent is concerned about their kid, and because they actually bring by the cops, in the storm, in the rainstorm. Of course, they're gonna ask him, what kind of drugs are you using? And the same happened to me. Um, that kind of felt realistic. The rest of the film, I didn't like the pool party, or when Jesse keeps talking about Freddy, and they go. I like the factory, that they go to this factory, but that mostly was in the factory. There's a pool party going on by Lisa. I think she's rich. I think that the guy, and somehow someone keeps locking the doors, and there's like supernatural, like Freddy can now go in the real world, and he can go and lock every the doors. Is kind of weird, and there's a ton of Jesse through his mouth, and he's kissing Lisa. The song for the pool party sucks, in my opinion. Hated the song. Jesse escapes. He goes to Grady. Some people reference that another gay. Instead, by being a girl, he goes and runs to his friend Grady. And honestly, some people will say, "Oh, because he was concerned about Lisa." What about Grady? So Freddy goes into real world. How the fuck he do that? Why he can't go in the real world when Jesse has a dream, and he kills? Why the fuck was Grady killed? I like Grady. Yes, I like him. There's a scene in the cafeteria where they actually talk, and Grady says some remarks to Lisa about Jesse, and Jesse says, "Shut up, Grady. You wanna shut up? Fine, I'll shut up." I just like that scene. I like Robert Russell's Grady. Why the fuck did they had to kill one of the characters I liked? So the pool party sucks. I don't know how the fuck Freddy shows up in real world. He starts killing everyone. He's like a mass murderer. He kills those poor kids. I hated that in the fucking film. It's like some gunman shows up in the pool party and shoots everyone. I hated that. I hated what's going on. It's really disgrace what in the US is going on in high schools, with guns, gunmen go open fire and killing people, killing kids. That's really disgrace. And that's another reason I don't like the pool party either, or the fucking shitty song in the movie. I don't like it either. Like I said, I like parts of the film. I like parts of the characters I like. And I know this movie has more body counts than the first one. The first one has I think was 4. I think it has 4 body counts. Tina, Glenn, and of course, I forgot Rod, and of course Nancy's mom. I think was March. 4 people. This movie has more body counts, but I don't give a fuck. I don't like it how Freddy goes, and he stabs that poor kid, says, "Just relax, I'm here to help you," and goes, "Help yourself, fucker." I just like that. I mean, if he would be in real world, he would be already killed or dead. What about the police? It just makes no sense. And like I said, I don't like it how he killed those kids, in the real world. I hated that. That was a terrible idea. I think the guy that did the David Chaskin fucked up. I think the guy was, yeah, it was David Chaskin that wrote the movie. He fucked up in my opinion. Um, but um, yeah, it was David Chaskin that wrote. But I don't like the pool party. I hated the pool party at all. And I think there was a scene that Lisa did a little fight back. I think she grabs a lamp or a vase. I don't remember right now, and punches him. And then she uses knives and she tries to stab him, but nothing happens. And that time Freddy escapes and he gets afraid of Lisa. And Lisa, she goes in this power plant, this factory. In this plant, she goes to this plant and she faces she faces Freddy. And Freddy, and says, Jesse, no, there's no Jesse. He's a part of me. I'm now. And she goes, and you can go to hell and taking Jesse with me. And with the love, somehow, Jesse keeps fighting and destroys Freddy, and the skin falls down. I like the makeup effects. I think it was by Kevin Eager. I like the makeup effects. But yeah, I think that mostly was. So by the finale and the boss, once again, Freddy shows up in a nightmare, and they go with the boss, and no one knows what happens next. So yeah, I think that that the movie was the ending song, the end credits, kind of sucks because it kind of reminds me of the same song they used in The Evil Dead. It kind of sucks. And like I said, many of the problems, I didn't like the pool party, massacre that Freddy kills them like a gunman, goes and kills them. How many kids died because of that? I'm not talking about pool. I'm talking about the school. How many kids died? With the gun for the gunmen. It's not only in U.S. It's also in Germany, and probably the more parts of the countries that happens. And it can happen anywhere, and that just really kind of I don't like that idea at all. I don't care about more body counts. I give a fuck about it. I don't even care that much about it, but I did like some scenes. I did like the song "Touch Me All Night Long." I like that song. I like that Lisa and Jesse, they were talking about Freddy. They actually found the Nancy Thompson's diary. It was actually 5 years set. I like that idea. But the rest of the movie just did not work in my opinion. I don't like Christopher Young's music score. He did later for Hellraiser. This is before he did Hellraiser, but no. I think they should just use Charles Bernstein music score. I don't know why they didn't. I thought that even for part 4 has better music score. It doesn't sound like Freddy. It's completely shitty music score in my opinion. Christopher Young really changed everything. But yeah, I did like those two birds exploding the house. Those two parrots, I like that. Um, Kim Myers, this is actually her acting debut. It was her first time. Mark Patton liked her, so she was cast in the film. So yeah, she was cast in the film, so that's pretty good. Um, but I liked Kim Myers as Lisa. She was smoking hot. I liked her. I liked Jesse, but I didn't like the idea that Freddy Krueger, he went and he manipulated the main protagonist. There was no action in the film. There's no fight in the film. And also the title makes no sense. Revenge on who? Freddy's Revenge. Or Revenge on who? He did got revenge in the first movie. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is my least favorite in the franchise. It's not even one of my favorite horror films. Never will be. Even though I like the poster, I'm not a fan of the film. I'll say I'm a fan of this film. Right there. the original. I'm fan of this film. This is my film. I say I did a long review, so I'm a fan of this film. I'm not a fan of part two. I thought it was a huge step down from this film, in my opinion, from the original. But I did like those two girls on the bus, the open scene. I like Marshall Bell. I like the actor. I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a great job. I think he was the best likable character, except the litter jackets that he had, or that he was preparing to rape Jesse. I was not a fan of that. I like Robert Russell as Grady. I disliked that he was killed. I didn't like it that he was killed. I hated it. I thought that the Robert Russell as Grady did a good job. I think that Robert Russell, they were asleep again in documentary for part two. I think he was there. But yeah, Jack Shoulder directed this film for New Line Cinema. It was rated there. It was actually shorter than the first movie, than this badass movie. I don't know what else to say. The movie ends with a cliffhanger. I don't think that anyone knows what happened to those kids on the bus. They never mention it. I think that some actors speculated that they were still alive or they survived. I don't know what the ending makes no sense. It just makes no sense. And like I said, Wes Craven refused to be part of the film. He refused to do that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's my least favorite of the film because I have a poster for this film. I have a T-shirt for this film. I have a poster for the third one. Fourth one. I have a poster right here. I have a poster for 6 and 7. But part 2 and sorry about the clock. Fuck the clock. But part 2 and part 2 and part 5 are just not my favorite films. I thought Friday the 13th part 2 was much better sequel. I thought Hellbound Hellraiser was much better sequel if you count the franchise. I thought Child's Play 2 was better than the original. I thought Friday the 13th part 2 was better than the original. I never thought the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 was better than the original, but still a good movie in my opinion. What else to say? Halloween 2, not a fan of the franchise, but I like the original Halloween 2. I thought it was better than the original, just me. There are actually other sequels I thought in the horror franchise, I don't remember right now, that were kind of better. I have not seen long time Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but I thought that was even better than the original. I don't remember if there was part 2 in the horror franchise that was actually better than the original. But like I said, Friday the 13th part 2 was better. Hellbound Hellraiser was better to me than the original. I thought Halloween 2 was better. Child's Play 2 was better than the original. I think there's a lot of films in the franchise, horror franchise, that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was better than the original. I don't know why, but A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is right there on the same boat with Friday the 13th Part 5, The New Beginning, or A New Beginning. I'm not a fan of those two movies. I'm not that biggest fan, Friday the 13th, like I said, of the all 8 movies from Paramount Pictures, I'm more fan of Part 2, 3, 4, 7, and that's it. No, I'm not a fan of Part 5 or 6 anymore. Not fan of Part 8 or the first one. Part 2, 3, 4, and 7, those 4 sequels are great in my opinion. Loved all of them. But yeah, they're just better movies, better sequels in the franchise, the horror franchise to me than the original, than the original that I thought. I don't remember any franchise right now that was better than the original. But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge could have been a lot of better film. It could have been much more fun film. But to me, it's just a boring film. Yeah, I felt was time for time was boring. I thought the song sucked. I thought the end credit song sucked. I thought the kills sucked. I didn't like the pool party massacre. I didn't care about about more body counts. I'm glad it has the fans, a fan base. I'm a fan of this film. I'm a big fan of this film. I'm a fan of this film, but I'm not a huge fan of Part Two. But still not bad of a film. It's just not my favorite film, the franchise. Just not in my opinion. I'm just not a big fan of this film. I'm actually more biggest fan of the original film. And Part 4, Part 3, I'm more fan of those. But Part 2 is still a good film. It's not that bad. But I really don't have that much to say. I think that Part 3 is going to be longer review than Part 2. Yeah, parts of it I like it. I like the poster art a lot more than the movie itself. But that's it. But that's my review on A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. I hope you like the review. From time to time, I used to have this movie top 5 favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but it's actually very low. It's my least favorite. Also, it's Robert Englund's least favorite film, the franchise, so it's mine least favorite. But it's not because, it's not because Mark Patton is gay or his character was gay or he was bisexual. I didn't give a fuck about that. No, it's because the story makes no sense. Because I don't understand how Freddy can go from the dream world into the real world and kills people and kids. I just don't understand that, and I also don't like that much. That's the reason it's my least favorite. So that's my review. I hope you like it. What's your opinion on Part 2? Do you like it? Is your favorite in the franchise? Which is your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film in the franchise? So leave me down comments down below and let me know. I'm out of here. So take care. Bye bye. See you soon. I'm out. Peace.